All right, let's get to some awards from the week that was. And people, we'll start with you, the guest of the show. The Mulligan Award for the coach's decision you want back.
Well, it was obvious. It's Sirianni. And I had other ones, by the way, because I pick them all apart.
Let's see. What else?
I hated the fake punt in Detroit.
Oh,
They converted it.
come on. We were saying how much we loved it.
Okay. So here's why I hate it. Here's why
I loved it because it worked.
Okay, it worked. And what's your end game out of it? Okay, it worked and went to where?
Shocked the world.
What does it do?
It gives you an extra possession.
Rallies the troops. The troops get excited.
It didn't rally the troops. But okay, here, where exactly was that? It was like on the
their own 30.
Yeah.
No, they were inside the 20, I think.
It was deep in their own territory.
And so they faked the punt. They got like 10, 12, 13, 14 yards or whatever it was. And all of a sudden now you got a first down at the 34. And you still need 35 yards to go get points. What's the end game? If you fake that in their end, you're getting points. You're maybe getting a touchdown. What's
High risk,
the end game?
low reward. High risk, low reward. Yeah.
But that's the guy. That's the guy that we're talking about in Detroit. I mean, it's Dan Campbell. Dude.
Okay, then he went for it again on fourth down in the same drive. And then he got to 4th and 6, and he said, no, I'm going to punt now.
Yep.
So where's the rhyme or reason in that entire series?
He heard a voice. There's a little angel on his shoulder.
The voice should have told him, you don't fake punt your own end. It's stupidity.
It was stupid. I'll say it. But God, it was cool to see.
And I like Vakis. He made a good play on the play. But seriously, I always say, what's your end game? Was he going to go 75 yards for a touchdown? No.
Was he sick if he did?
Huh?
Vakis can run. Vakis can run.
Yeah, but come on.
I know.
What's your best case scenario of that? 20 yards.
I think you could have caught him in a look because it was over the middle of the field where all of a sudden he's going like 40-50 in that. If you get the right look from the defense and he breaks a tackle. But yeah, I do agree that the risk reward on that, I wouldn't call it the Mulligan Award. The Sirianni decision takes.
Sirianni's
that one took the cake.
That one's bad. Really, really, really bad.
Yeah. All right, what's the Show Me Something Award? Who was your breakout player?
Stingley. Good. I thought Stingley was outstanding the other day. I mean, he's there's the group of corners that we always talk about at the top of the league. Mm-hmm. I think he has a chance by the end of this year to be in that conversation. And they drafted him with that idea, but it hadn't worked out for injuries and other reasons. It hadn't quite got there yet. I think this is the year that Stingley gets there.
So he followed DJ Moore for much of that game. PFF has him tracked for 5 catches, 64 yards, but an INT as well. But it's like, given that he was following DJ Moore the entire game, I thought he played outstanding. So
DJ Moore was frustrated.
And the thing that surprised me is that is usually the type of wide receiver he'd struggle against because he's a skinnier corner. He's not as physical, but this year I think his physicality looks much improved. And he's always been a guy that can match and mirror. That was why he, was that freshman All-American at LSU way back in the day. But his physicality is kind of taking the next step, and he showed that against DJ Moore.
So we got some more awards here. I think you got some awards to give out, Mike. You got the offensive rookie.
Who are my rookie awards? Okay, let's get to them. Offensive rookie. There was a good number of them. The wide receivers I loved this week. But Joe Alt at right tackle for the Los Angeles Chargers was a darn near flawless performance for a rookie. Now, obviously, no one has flawless performance at offensive line every week in and week out, but that's as good as you'll see from a rookie offensive tackle. Shut down Jadeveon Clowney. It looked like a guy who's in year 7 or 8. He's not the most physically imposing, but he's physically imposing enough, and he is just down-to-down consistent, which is amazing to see because this is his first year at right tackle. He's never played right tackle before. So, Joe Alt, offensive rookie of the week. Defensive rookie of the week. Kamari Lasser had the pick. Some other guys had sacks. I think Byron Murphy had a big sack. Andrew Phillips, though, the slot corner for the New York Giants, was everywhere for that defense. A ton of plays around the line of scrimmage. Now, he played the perfect offense to make a ton of plays around the line of scrimmage in the Commanders with as many screens as they run and whatnot. But his closing speed, his physicality, that's what you want in the slot nowadays because everyone's looking for that guy that people worry about coverage, but its slot position's not necessarily about coverage as much as it is about can you go make plays in front of you? Can you go be an add-on like a linebacker in the running game? Can you dip around those blocks on wide screens and whatnot and make plays on ball carriers? Andrew Phillips looked amazing at that this past week, and that's a good sign. It's not like you don't need that guy to be a one-on-one coverage player anymore. You need that guy to do those things in today's NFL.
But he's still got to cover.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a guy who can do all that stuff and he can't handle a one-on-one slot receiver.
Oh no, yeah.
Problem. But you're right. It's such a different position.
That skill.
Yeah, you got to be able to tackle. You got to be able to physical. He's a good player.
You know who was going against a wild animal this week? my Florida Man award, it's going to go to Maxx Crosby. He was going against an absolute hippopotamus of alligator, something you'd find down there. I don't know if they find hippos in the Everglades, but they should.
No.
They're dangerous. There's a lot of dangerous, you know what, in the
A lot of
Everglades.
pythons.
Well, Maxx Crosby was in Lamar Jackson's Everglades, and along with that, he was with his compadre, Derrick Henry. And my guy, Maxx Crosby, dominated. Okay, he dominated the football game, run and pass. And I know usually we're talking about getting sacks, and he got home there at M&T Bank Stadium in the pass game, but the ways in which he got home, the plays in which he was able to tackle Derrick Henry, the way in which he clotheslined Derrick Henry and made him look human in the backfield. It was an inspirational performance by Maxx Crosby. And you can even see it when Gardner Minshew throws an interception. Who's the first guy there on the sideline to talk to him? It's the captain, big Maxx Crosby over there, pounding in Gardner's chest. And at first I thought it was demonstrative, and then I realized he's putting that superpower into Gardner. They find a way to win on the road. But Maxx Crosby getting home with exit stunts, getting home with cross-face rips in the run game, making huge tackles, flying around, the leader of that defense. It was such a Florida Man performance from Maxx Crosby.
Love it. And it brings me to a rant of mine, okay? Maxx Crosby played every damn snap in that game. Why don't other teams play their star players more snaps on defense? And it's an old adage, and I'm going to use it because I'm going to reference Jacksonville, okay? You guys will love this. Ryan Nielsen, I'm rotating guys, right? That's all well and good. You get a little blow here and there. They had backup linebackers play 13 snaps together in the middle of the game. Linebackers, rotating linebackers.
An entire level of your defense.
So I go, just for the sake of this argument, and I was talking with Sully about this, is back in the day, guys played all the snaps.
My dad never left the field.
Ever. So why can't your stars play? Okay, you might go off for a play or two if you get poked in the eye or whatever. Why can't they play more snaps? I don't understand it. If Maxx Crosby can do it, why can't others?
Is it an analytics thing? Because I know if I'm a coach and I've got a guy like Maxx Crosby, I'm going to be telling him to stay out the entire game. And a guy like Maxx Crosby, you don't have to tell him twice, right? He's looking forward for that opportunity.
It's load management. I mean, it's a real thing that they track how like the exertion of these guys, and if they're in the red zone of exertion, it means you're just more likely to get injured. So a lot of teams are moving towards that model of tracking those sorts of things and trying to limit.
Yeah, and we wear that stuff in practice too.
Yeah, I know, but here, okay. For example,
but off-ball linebackers, not one. I'm thinking about that.
And
I'm thinking about with like DTs.
Okay, but
yes,
some DMs.
Okay, but
some poor bastard who got double teamed 6 plays in a row. Get him out of there. Get him a breather.
An offensive team goes down the field and drives the ball down the field. It takes about 6, 7, 8 minutes. Goes and gets points. Then there's the break for the kickoff. Then there's a break for the timeout. Then you send your defense onto the field. A lot of teams will rotate the second unit in key moments because it's their time to go on the field when you've just had 15 minutes sitting on the sideline. You got a chance to put the hammer on somebody. You're up 4, get a sack, get a turnover, go up 11, game over, and yet you have your backups out there. They go down the field. Then you send the starters back out. They're at midfield. They make a play. They get either a touchdown or field goal. Next thing you know, you're in a game. That's the kind of stuff that drives me crazy.
And as an offense, if we catch you with the wrong personnel, the right personnel for us out there, if I see, Joey out there, a linebacker, I said, Joey's in the game. We're going to run it right at him. He can't make this read. Then you're going to hurry up. You're going to force that personnel to stay on the field. Next thing you know, the starters are on the sideline. They can't come back in, right? That's just the way that this process goes.
Yeah, when you hurry up.
Hurry up offense.
So does Maxx Crosby's load management buzzer not work then? I mean, see, to me, I just think the stars
He's from Krypton, man.
It's amazing. I looked through like TJ Watt. I looked through all those guys. He's the only one I saw when I went through the play sheets that he played the entire game.
Yeah, last year, Maxx Crosby, 1,080 snaps. Most of any defensive lineman in the NFL. Danielle Hunter played over 1,000 though last year. Aiden Hutchinson almost 1,000. But yeah, then you have guys like Myles Garrett, 805. You know Montez Sweat.
That's 4 ball games worth of football that you're not on the field.
He's not on the football.
That's 4 ball games.
Incredible.
And he still has the production.
You're right. Guys like your dad, they never came out.
I remember when Dad came to watch us play on a Monday night, and it was a Vic Fangio coached Bears defense, and we had Akeem Hicks on the team. And Akeem Hicks was a world beater at one point in his career. And Akeem and I had a great relationship. Vic and I had a great relationship. Vic knew my dad. We saw each other in the tunnel, and I was talking to my dad. Vic walks by, stops, talks to us, blah, 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 blah. And then when Akeem walks by, he tried to sneak by Vic about something. He was sneaking by Vic. And Vic grabs him, introduces him to my dad. And he's like, Howie, Tell him how many times he used to come off the field. And Dad looked at Vic straight and he said, never. And he said, you hear that, Akeem? He was like, that's why we need you to play. We need you to be that.
Yeah.
And Akeem's 6'6",
Yeah,
380. He's not going to be able to
enormous.
play this. But the message is what you're sending.
Right.
We need our best players on the football field because my Florida Man Award indicates that a guy like Maxx Crosby being out there for 95% of your snaps, that's a damn good thing for your defense. It's a damn good thing for your offense, too.
All right. Mute button award?
Mute
Last
button
one.
award. Okay, so the scheme dictates how well these guys are able to turn the volume down on some of these rushers. And I was gushing last night about the willingness for this football team of the Atlanta Falcons to run the football, to set up their pass blocking. And when Jake Matthews was out there after a solid play side stretch, first off, dominant on the front side stretch, things that we love to see from Trent Williams, capturing that front side, widening that defensive end. It opens up so many avenues for that run game. You can keep it front side on Jake Matthews. You can bang it up into the middle, or you can ride the cowabunga, dude. You can ride the wave. It looks like a cutback, but really you're riding that wave. That's what that front side sets up for you. And for the mute button, Jake Matthews, it looks boring when he's in pass protection after you set it up with these run plays. And you can talk to Baselli about this. How much easier were the pass reps after you dominate them in the run? You dull their blade. These defensive linemen, they're over there just sharpening their sword, waiting for the opportunity for the pass rush. And if you're an offensive tackle, boom, you get on them quick. They have no plan for that. Jake Matthews, great job, commitment to the technique, commitment to the game plan, make the run and the pass look the same. You become a mute button, my man. Congrats on the W. You've been doing this a long time. I know you're happy with this offense.
That frontside block and outside zone is the most thankless block in terms of just like the guys that are good at it versus the guys that are bad at it, because it opens up all the space for everything else. If you widen that guy, that end,
you can press it further front side.
Every other block looks better
Right.
because there's just more space to play with. But if you're getting your butt just planted right there, I remember Alden Smith used to be the GOAT at he would plant that front side tackle in his tracks, and just outside zone did not work against those 49ers fronts. So you're getting planted, you're going to have a long day around the football.
Love Jake Matthews.
That man, Alden Smith would have been a Hall of Famer if he had stayed in.
Oh, yeah, that guy was unbelievable.